The Life of Number 5. Number 5 is one of the 43 children who were all born on October 1st, 1989, to a mother without any previous signs of pregnancy. The baby was one of 7 adopted by Sir Reginald Hargreeves with the intention of training them to save the world. Number 5 has the ability to time travel and ends up trapped in the future as an old boy, where he discovered that the world was in ruins. He eventually returned to the Umbrella Academy years later with a message that the world was due to end in 8 days. Welcome to the Amagi 2. In today's video, we're going over the life of Number 5. Before we begin, we publish new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Early life. As the rest of the Umbrella Academy members, Number 5 was born on October 1st, 1989, and was adopted by Sir Reginald Hargreeves, who along with Grace, raised Number 5 and the rest of the Hargreeves siblings. Quest to save the world. With his ability to jump through space and time not yet perfected, 5 found himself transported to a near future in which the world had been destroyed. 5 attempts to travel back to the present but finds himself unable to do so. Having managed to travel back to the present, 5 explains the events but finds that Vanya does not believe him, citing that time travel has messed with his mind just as their father had warned. 5 has trouble convincing his siblings of the events too, but is eventually able to convince them when they're confronted by Hazel and Cha-Cha, who attack them. With the rest of his siblings on board, 5 is eventually forced to reveal their future deaths to his siblings, who question why he did not tell them sooner. Later, a flashback to the future, in which all of 5's siblings are dead, 5 is recruited by the Temps Commission, who agree to allow him to retire to a time of his choosing after 5 years of service. He agrees, but secretly uses his time to travel to the present, 8 days before the apocalypse. With the revelation that Vanya is responsible for destroying the Academy, not the apocalypse, 5 is conflicted with his siblings on how to best handle the situation. Eventually, they decide that they shouldn't abandon Vanya. A fight breaks out between Vanya, 5, and the other members of the Umbrella Academy, and all hope seems lost. 5 reveals that he has a plan. He will take all of his family with him through time in an effort to avoid the apocalypse. Despite not being sure of his abilities, 5 is successful in traveling through time with his family. Second apocalypse. Following his attempts to avert the apocalypse, 5 finds himself transported to Dallas, 1963, in the midst of another nuclear apocalypse. He witnesses as his siblings, the Umbrella Academy, fight the Russians prior to a nuclear explosion that ends the world. Moments before the world ends, however, Hazel arrives and tells him to come with him if he wants to live. 5 obliges, and Hazel takes him back in time before the apocalypse and explains that he caused the apocalypse by bringing his siblings back in the timeline. Hazel tells him to save the world one more time, but is unable to explore more before he is assassinated by the Swedes. 5 tries to get his siblings on board with his attempt to save the world for the second time, but is instantly rebuked by both Luther, who has built a life for himself, and Diego, who is attempting to prevent the assassination of President JFK. 5 is later able to convince Diego to help him save the world, and the two try to talk with the 1963 version of their father about his involvement in the assassination of JFK. 5 is able to convince Vanya to his side shortly after he offers insight into her past, which she is happy to receive due to her amnesia. After 5 is able to get all of his family back together and on his side, he realizes that his only option is to work with the Handler in exchange for a briefcase from the Temps Commission that will allow him to travel back with the Umbrella Academy back to their rightful place within the timeline. 5 makes a shocking discovery along the way that Lila Pitts is actually the Handler's adoptive daughter. The Handler offers 5 a proposition. She will give him a briefcase if he agrees to assassinate the members of the Commission Board. He agrees. 5's attempts to get his family back to their timeline fail, however, and he is forced to abandon the briefcase before it is activated. 5 explains to Luther that the only option is to go face a previous version of himself in the same timeline and plead with him to hand over the briefcase. Older, previous 5 is initially reluctant to give 5 the briefcase, but 5 is able to convince him in exchange for the correct math that would return him to 2019 in his original body. 5 is annoyed to find that the briefcase is destroyed in the process, however. After the members of the Umbrella Academy are able to save Vanya from destroying the world for a second time, 5 and the other members of the Academy face off against the Handler and the Commission. They are successful in killing the agents, but all of the members of the Academy, except for 5, are shot to death by the handler. Scared, 5 remembers advice given to him from Reginald about traveling back in time minutes rather than decades. He is able to travel back in time and prevent the handler from killing his siblings, and makes a deal with Herb to allow him to take a briefcase and return his family to their rightful place within the timeline. Personality. At age 13, number 5 became trapped in the apocalyptic future for more than 40 years. When he found a way back, his body regressed to that of his 13-year-old self, while his mind stayed the same. As a result, he has the personality of a 60-year-old and is frustrated at being trapped in the body of a child. He's shown to have a genius intellect, often dismissing others, including his family, as stupid or inferior, and expressing disinterest in their personal affairs. He's also shown to be sarcastic, pragmatic, and incredibly prideful. He also exhibits impulsive behavior due to his prideful nature, which is seen when he brazenly uses his time-traveling powers as a boy, despite Reginald Hargreeves' warnings that he is not fully prepared to wield them. Number 5 is also shown to be a ruthless and incredibly efficient killer. While he does not enjoy killing, he seems to have no qualms about the people he has killed, and is more than willing to eliminate anyone, even innocent people, whose deaths may stop the apocalypse from happening, and even displays nonchalance when making plans to murder them. He gained fame in his time as an agent at the Temps Commission for his success in killing countless individuals on missions, which he did as part of his contract in order to get back home to the present. Overall, number 5 is shown to be perfectly willing to eliminate anyone who stands in the way of his goals. Despite his antisocial behavior, he does have compassion and cares for his family deeply. He works tirelessly both in the past and future to prevent the apocalypse, and is seemingly the most devoted member of his family in stopping it. He even refuses to involve his family most of the time out of fear that they would die. When he renegotiates his contract with the Temps Commission, he demands that his family be saved as well. Powers. Teleportation. Number 5 has the ability to teleport both short and long distances, which he used frequently to evade Hazel, Cha-Cha, and the Temps Commission. Despite being able to travel at will, multiple travels within a short time exhausted 5 frequently, and the handler noted that even 5 has limits. In addition to teleporting himself, he's also able to take other people with him when he teleports, as shown when Diego teleported with him as they were running from commission agents in The End of Something. He is also able to teleport objects without physical contact, which is shown in a flashback in We Only See Each Other at Weddings and Funerals, where he replaces a robber's gun with a stapler. Powers. Chronokinesis. 5 can travel through time. 5, however, had not mastered this ability, and the first time he used it, he accidentally traveled to the end of the world and was unsuccessful in traveling back. Despite being less adept at time travel, 5 is a quick study, and in the White Violin, he was able to travel through time and take his siblings with him, something he had never done before. In The End of Something, 5 is able to reverse time by a couple of minutes, unfolding events during that time so that only he remembers them and can alter events. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.